What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, Swee's price has made the exact move that we were on the lookout for the last week or so, and so I want to give you a bit of an update, letting you know what's going on, what we can be expecting next, and what I'm doing as a result of it now that this move has happened. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into it. And guys, I will remind you, you have 6 days left. If you do want to get up to 2,000 Sui completely for free, up to $8,000 worth of Sui, all you need to do is sign up and start trading over on CoinW using my link down below. This is one of the cleanest exchanges that I've ever traded on myself, one of my favorite to use on a daily basis. And if you do sign up and start trading down below, you can trade things like Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, and many more, and up to 100x leverage. They're going to give you some free Sui if you deposit $50 or more. And if you start trading, they're going to give you, again, up to 2,000 Sui. So go check that out down below on that landing page. Let me know what you think. Now, let's give a quick recap. One would say a lay of the land of what we've been seeing from Sui here recently, just so you can get an idea of how we got to this point. So as many of you know, what we have been tracking from Sui recently has, of course, been that break towards the upside. We obviously had this huge move upwards as we were getting higher and higher towards $4. I told you all, hey, look, we're probably going to see Sui have to cool down a little bit, but it's no problem because Sui did all this chopping right here, right? Imagine, again, you're chopping onions up and down, up and down. It did all this up, down, all this chop, and I told you, as its price does start to pull back, it's all good. We're very likely going to try to use these key levels of liquidity that we put in this chop to flip it from resistance, turn it into support, and try to use that support to continue upwards. So all you need to be on the lookout for is when do we hold some support. Well, as Sui's price did start to pull back into this chop zone, you can see here that we started to create, again, what's called a descending channel. I've told you very consistently, descending channels are my favorite structure in all of crypto, and so we were doing some buying at the bottom side of this, just assuming that it was going to break to the top side because they pretty much always do. Now, from there, of course, we started to see Sui's price do exactly what we were hoping and go for that breakout. On the breakout, I told you, hey, there's 3 key steps to verify this breakout. Step number 1 is we need to back test that resistance. Turn this resistance zone into a support zone. Come back down here and find that support. If Sui was able to do that, what we would then look for is it to clear this green box. Step number 2 was the bottom side. Step number 3 was the top side. If it was capable of clearing this green box, which is our Fibonacci and liquidity resistance, it would open up the door for Sui to push from $4.25 to $4.50. Now, in the creation and in the completion of these steps, we noticed that it was creating an Adam and Eve pattern. The Adam right here and the Eve pattern right here. And we're like, oh snap, okay, well we have a breakout target. Cool. So what you do is you take the distance and the top to the bottom of the Adam pattern there, the Adam and Eve pattern, and you just apply it to the top of the Adam and Eve pattern. This gives you your breakout target. This means that based off of this bullish structure right here, Sui's price should try to head up towards $4.50. And so what you can see is that as it verified this breakout by backtesting and clearing the green box, it came up exactly. I don't get the pleasure of saying exactly. Within 1 cent of our breakout target. It came up to $4.49, nearly hitting the nail on the head for exactly where we said that it could go. Now, this is not uncommon, right, for things like Sui, but whenever you see something that is this systematic, I mean, the fact that every step of the way from right here, whenever we were up here, just knowing that we were going to come back down into this liquidity zone, seeing this descending channel, buying at the bottom of it, going for that back test, creating the Adam and Eve, clearing that thing, going directly to your breakout target, Sui has been moving in more of a bullish nature than I don't want to say ever seen, but when you're this systematic, it's so bullish that it's even hard to wrap my mind around. And so whenever we see a move like this, you can do nothing but be bullish. And the beautiful thing about it is that now that it's made this move, it becomes very clear on what we can be doing now. The next couple moves, in my opinion, have become much more clear. And so because of that, now that you have a recap of how we got here and what's going on, let's dive a little bit deeply into what we can expect next. Okay, now I will warn you, some of the things that I may say will be a little complicated. We're going to talk a little about liquidity zones. We're going to talk about Fibonacci's. There may be things in here that are a little complex. So if you are a beginner and this stuff is confusing and you're just trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, or maybe you're advanced and you're just trying to add more new tools to the toolbox, maybe you've plateaued a bit and you're trying to get better, all that I ask specifically from you is that you stick around to the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you about what's happening over in the Discord server with all of our classes and things that we're posting every single day, these live shows, workshops, and much more that are generating hundreds of percentages every single day. So if you want to be someone who starts learning lessons, using them to develop strategies that generate hundreds of percentages of gains just like all of these people, all that I ask again is that you stick around to the end of the video. Now, Looking at SWI, the whole game now is what comes next. Well, the beautiful part about what we are seeing right now is that it's probably pretty damn easy to assume what happens next. So whenever a crypto sees a full extension like this, and a full extension just means it has a breakout target and it hits the breakout target, what you can expect from that crypto is a bit of a pullback and a bit of a cool down. It's normal. The reason this happens is because this is a major profit taking zone. A lot of people are going to see the full extension. A lot of their profits are going to profit taking and take profit levels are going to be hit, and they're just going to start getting out. It's normal. Also, getting up to breakout zones is difficult. It takes a lot of bullish momentum because the bears are fighting you the whole entire time to try to stop it from happening. And so you're just going to see these moments to where after you see a push like this, you're either going to pull back or you're just going to start going sideways for a little while. It's the same reason why we saw SWI do this around that $4 mark. Remember, the $4 mark roughly was its full extension. And so once it hit this $4 mark right here, it had to cool down and pull back a bit before trying to push up through it. So with that in mind, it is very likely, and it's kind of hard to say that now because we're about 6 or 7 hours of already pulling back, but again, still, that we do see SWI kind of calm down a little bit. Now, how long this lasts, no one ever knows, obviously. You know, people ask all the time, like, hey, when is SWI going to break out? Hey, when is this going to happen? And unless you have a defined apex of a structure, like a triangle where you know there's a point that has to move, defining a time frame is the most difficult thing you can do in crypto. I would nearly say impossible to some degree. And so because of that, there is no true way of knowing when SWI is going to, of course, start trying to maybe break out of this sideways movement or this downtrend that we're in. But we can start to kind of make plays based on it anyway and just wait it out. So the way that I usually go about this, I don't know if I'm personally in a spot to where I wanted to be doing a lot of buying on SWI anymore, just because my average cost is around $1.70, $1.60. So being up a couple X's, I'm just like, I don't know. But if I was going to, okay, and I might, and if I am going to, my current game plan and strategy is exactly what it was back here. I'm going to look for points of liquidity. I'm going to assume that one of those key points of liquidity is going to hold, and we're going to see SWI's price try to push upwards. While we are in a bull market, this is the general trend that it will follow. There will be times where the trend breaks, and there will be times where we see SWI absolutely just dump. But I'm not in a spot to believe that SWI is about to put in a fall of, 35 to 40%. I have no reason to believe that. Is it possible? Oh, absolutely it's possible, but I'm not in a spot to assume that's going to happen right now because I have no reason to believe it's going to happen right now. And I may be wrong, and if I'm wrong, it is what it is. That's the reason why I wouldn't definitely not be doing any big purchasing right now, especially if you're worried about the short term. Now, if you're a long-term holder investor, who cares? Buy whatever you want for as much as you want. It doesn't matter. Long-term things will go up, right? A rising tide raises all ships. But in general, there is a risk that what I'm about to say next is just not true, and it's just wrong, and I get invalidated. I just don't have any reason to believe that to be the case. So I'm just going to assume it's not what's going to happen. So with that in mind, my current thought process is like, okay, we just fully extended. We just hit a breakout target. What's very likely to happen is he's going to cool down and start coming back down to these key levels of liquidity to try to flip one into support and continue upwards, just like it did right here. So what we saw from SWI is that it came back down, hit a couple of these key levels of liquidity, used one as support, broke out, back test. Here we go, rocket time, right? I would expect that some sort of more, similar version of that's going to happen, just maybe even on a bit of a smaller time frame. So my current strategy with SWI is, if I am going to buy, which again I don't know, but I'll tell you, is I'm going to be looking to purchase on these key support levels. So how do you identify the key support levels? Well, simply, you just look, okay, where was there a lot of resistance when we were going up? That's your support levels. So for example, we have obviously the high right here. We have obviously the green box right here. And then we have all this little liquidity in between. So what I would go ahead and say is that we have two very identifiable levels of support right now. $3.94 and all the way back down around $3.68. Is SWI going to come all the way back down here? Again, I have no idea. But if it does, these are the levels that I would be looking to purchase on, because it's very likely that SWI will at least give it a try to push the upside. And that's usually when I can identify when I'm wrong, right? Because for example, if SWI's price bounces off one, then loses it, then bounces off this one, then loses it, I'm like, oh snap, I'm probably wrong. We might be heading down to a more macro low. It might be a good idea to close out those purchases or just get ready for an L, right? So that's usually how I would identify it. But oftentimes in bull markets like this, what you will see are these support levels try to hold, and so we try to give it a damn good push towards the upside. And sometimes it takes a minute, right? Sometimes you'll hit this one and you'll do this, then you go down to this one, and then next thing you know, you hit that last one, and then boom, you start to recover, and then bam, right? Exactly what we did right here. And so overall, what I would be doing is looking to do some little purchases on each one of these key levels. Now, the final level of support is Fibonacci support, of course. Always. You guys know that. what we would do, go from the bottom of that move to the swing high. And I would say, okay, the bottom side of this Fibonacci zone, right around $3.26, that's your final support zone. If that level is lost, things are going to get stupidly ugly. Okay, I'm just warning you now. And so what I would say is, okay, we have 3 identifiable key levels of support, 394, 368, and 326. I would be doing increasingly bigger purchases the lower that it gets, expecting that one of these levels holds. And if one of these levels doesn't hold, well, we're probably in a spot to where this market is turning, and maybe that we're seeing the end of this bullish move that we're in right now. Maybe we're going to go into some type of more midterm to long-term pullback or bear market. Maybe I don't really imagine we're about to head into a bear market, but you get the point, right? And so where I am with SWE right now is that, realistically, I think that there's a damn good chance it tries to continue this move. I think there's a damn good chance it tries to continue upwards. And even if it does need to cool down and pull back after making this fantastic move, I think one of these support levels is going to hold. And now we're going to see SWE's price try to push upwards. It's kind of like what we saw from Solana with the DCA zones, right? Or what it's doing right now. Solana made this beautiful move up. Now it's come down into these DCA zones. And I'm expecting one of these to hold its price up and continue upwards. And we're kind of seeing that playing out already. So I'll keep you updated, obviously, with SWE. But this is my strategy. This is my game plan. And this is how I go about it, guys. I don't try to pretend like I know what's going to happen. I just get ready for the worst outcome. The worst outcome is SWE starts pulling back. The best outcome is SWE keeps going. If it keeps going, I'll keep taking profits because that's what I've been doing. That's what I'll keep doing. And so this is the strategy. This is what I'm implementing, and this is what I'm looking for next. So with that in mind, of course, as it does continue to play out, I will let you know. So of course, you guys know I try to post 5, 6, 7 vids every single day here on the channel. Today might be a little bit less because I'm going to get my marriage license today. Your boy's getting married, so I got to go get my marriage license today. So we might have a few less videos, but overall, again, anyway, I'll keep you updated with SWE. Now, again, as I said earlier, if you are someone who wants to get better at crypto, all I want you to do is go down to the link down in the description. You're going to find a Patreon. It's the cost of a Netflix subscription or cheaper, guys. $17 a month or $5 a month. It's nothing crazy. But what you're going to get access to is the Discord server where magical things are happening. Honestly, call this thing Disneyland, quite frankly. In this server, we have Insights with Tyler, which is where I go in and I talk about the things that I'm buying and selling every now and then. Not all of them, but some of them. My thoughts and insights about stuff, just general updates on the market, advice, guidance, whatever you may think. Daily technical analysis reports go out every day. Daily fundamental analysis reports go out. We have 2 teams of professional traders. These are people whose entire business relies on them trading profitably and well. They're posting their buy and sell signals. I've hired them to post their buy and sell signals every single day in here. We have exclusive live shows starting next week. We have premium classes coming from me and other coaches on things like the Fibonacci's, 5 keys of bull market investing. We have live workshops. So this is a beginner's guide to XRP Ripple. Speaking of beginners, we have 2 beginners courses out now, 30-minute courses with presentations included on things like technical analysis, leverage trading. So if you're really new, this is a great start for you. We have a few more of these releasing: fundamental analysis, meme coin investing, and altcoin investing very soon. There's Tyler's tips, which are 2 to 3 minute long videos in which we're going to just be covering random things that you guys ask a lot of questions about. And I did just make one announcement over the other day that we actually are going to have a daily live show Monday through Friday at noon Central Standard or noon Eastern Standard Time, hosted by Crypto Moses, where he's going to give you a market recap, answer questions, do a Q&A, and do some technical analysis to get your day started every day, Monday through Friday. Absolutely insane value, and that's available to every member, $5 or $17 a month. And that's the reason why the community is going crazy, guys. We are cultivating a community of people who want to learn lessons and turn those lessons into profit, and that's exactly what's happening. Hundreds of percentages of gains every single day. So if you want to be a part of this, if you want to be one of these people who are elevating at rates I've never seen before, all you got to do is spend a Netflix subscription or cheaper. So head down below, go check that out, and don't forget you can get up to 2,000 free SWE if you do start trading on CoinW today. And of course, as I mentioned before, I'll keep you updated as all this does play out. So all that I do ask is that you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.